Good afternoon. Today is Sunday, the 25th of July, 2018, and I'm just embarking on a hike up the coastal ridge overlooking Pacifica, California. This is a hike which I do every weekend, more or less. I've never really filmed it in this way before, but my son Kevin is turning 26 tomorrow, and he asked me for a video for his birthday. Well, that's a pretty easy request to fulfill, so this is what I'm at. So hope you enjoy the hike. Happy birthday, Kevin. So at this point, I'm next to a school called Skyline College, and I'm hiking up a little side road which I think of as the corridor of the trees, and this is leading up to the entrance to Golden Gate National Park, and that's once we get inside of the park we'll be climbing up a ridge. And now I'm approaching the entrance to Golden Gate National Park. It's protected by a yellow barrier here, around which one can only walk, not drive. And once past this barrier, we'll be rather secluded in nature. And on today's hike, we're going to be walking up the ridge 1 mile to the Sweeney Ridge Road. Here we go. Say goodbye to civilization for a while. As I hike up the trail, I see a couple people ahead of me. I'll have to pass them up so they don't think I'm strange if I walk past them talking. And here I'm continuing up the trail, just starting up the first of several hills which I'll have to ascend, and we'll show you some more views as we get a little higher up. And here's a big water tower that stands next to Skyline College. There's a crane in the distance where they seem to be doing some construction. And there's the marine layer, all the fog or clouds that are just sticking to the tops of the ridges here. Once again, the big water tower. And I'm walking up alongside of the big water tower. And right about now I'm coming up to the top of another ridge, off of which you could look down to the ocean, which today we'll find is completely buried in fog. That's right, we're not seeing very far down here today. The marine layer is thick and low. And here I am once more. You can probably see the fog billowing up directly in front of where I'm about to travel, which is behind me until I turn around. And there's fog behind me as well. It's a foggy, foggy day. Here I am in the fog, and right up here is the creepy guardhouse. Would you like to take a look inside? Follow me. Here is the great and terrible guardhouse. And we're about to enter inside. Ooh. There's a window and another window. And here's the back room and some dank chamber beneath the floor. And that's the guardhouse left over from the Cold War. Standing here on a ridge in California where it was once used to protect Nike missiles, which were said to protect us from the Soviets. That's what they said. And now I'm going to continue on down this hill into a little grotto that is simply filled with fog. It's like the moors in Scotland. Mediterranean climate. Off there in the distance is that creepy guardhouse. So I've come all the way down that hill, and now I'm walking up this much higher hill, which has a notched staircase that goes on and on and on. And well, come with me yourself and see as we make our way up to the top of the first Great Notch Trail. Pardon me if I'm not talking much. I just have to breathe. Once you pass this here big tree, you're almost there. And that's from where we came. Whew. Still plenty of fog. And here is the end of the first Great Notch set. And we'll continue on our way after a little rest. And now here I am, somewhat recovered after drinking some water. And behind me is the second portion of the Notch Trail, up which I'm about to continue. I know what you're saying, oh no, more stairs. But actually these stairs aren't so bad. They're not as highly notched as the set that I just came up. So it's a much gentler climb, and one that you can do without really working up a big sweat. Thank goodness. And here I am, just to show you, I've already climbed up this large set of stairs that wasn't so bad as the first set. And now I'm just continuing to walk on up the ridge further into the fog. Finally, one more set of notch steps. Not very far at all compared to the first two sets. Fog all around. And it's right about here you can see that the fog is thicker than ever. It's just billowing across the land in all directions. But I am going to continue my way up the ridge into the thicker fog. Looks almost like a blizzard the way the mist is just billowing and puffing. Looks like blowing snow across the front of the landscape. And in the distance comes a runner. I'll turn off the camera so it's not this. And what do you know? Two more people are appearing off in the distance, coming out of the fog. which is to the west, it drops off down to the coast in Pacifica. And to my left, which is to the east, it drops down to the San Francisco Bay. None of which is visible today through the fog, unfortunately. And here I am, walking along the Great Road at the top of the ridge, and I'm heading for the water tower, which is at the very highest point on this particular ridge. Again, not much visibility of anything today because of the fog. Right up ahead is our, right about the halfway point of our destination of the turtle trip. From here on, we'll be descending down the eastern side of this ridge. And we'll be overlooking the airport and the South Bay. Although none of it will be visible to anyone. And this spot right along here is one of my favorite spots in the whole world. It's just right on top of this ridge, and it looks out over the ocean to the west, and it looks over the bay and the airport to the east. There's just a lot of nice stuff to see from here. See the fog and hear the wind. It's beautiful views, but today, nothing but fog. And now is a special treat if anyone wants to see inside a creepy outhouse. There's the view, creepy as can be. And now, I'm beginning to descend down along the ridge towards the South Bay. At times it's possible to hear a low rumble here, which is like the sound of wind grating against the rocks on the ridge, I think. I don't know how else to describe it. Doesn't that just look like a waterfall of fog cascading over the trees? enjoy the sounds of the wind through the trees. And despite all the fog, there's yet a hint of sunshine just peeking through. There's the water tower high above. And down there, peeking out through the fog, is Lake San Andreas. And further still, barely visible, San Francisco International Airport. A little sunshine is available. Again, despite the fog, just a faint patch of blue up ahead. Aircraft engine off in the distance. And here's one of the sunnier views of the day. And finally, the airport becomes visible in the distance for the first time all day. warmer air. Eastern slope. Continue to drop out of the sky down this steep slope. Down, down, down we go. And above us, hundreds of feet above us, the battle between the fog and the sky rages on. Once again, Lake San Andreas, deep blue waters. And SFO, San Francisco International Airport. Now we are looking out over South San Francisco, the industrial city, as it says on the poor man's Hollywood sign. I'll try to zoom into that for you. Can you make out those words there? South San Francisco, the industrial city. That's what I call the poor man's Hollywood sign. And ahead of us again is the marine layer spilling over the pass on the ridge. And above us we see the same thing, the marine layer spilling over our heads, but then dissipating into the blue sky. And this is just one of the things I love so much about hiking here. The first half of your hike can be all gray and gloomy and foggy. But once you cross over the top of the ridge and you get onto this side, you're almost always treated to a lovely summer day with deep blue skies, green grass and trees and plants and brown grass and deep blue lakes and balmy blue bays. It's a beautiful afternoon. Just turning 1 o'clock here in San Bruno, California. We've just been hiking up and into Pacifica. That was where all the gray fog was. And now we're back in sunny San Bruno. Behind me is Lake San Andreas. Distance is some activity from the airport. That's right. The Continental Airlines Boeing 777 taking off bound for Asia. And there's kind of the last view of the airport as we're now sinking so far down along the ridge that we won't be able to see over that other small ridge that lies east of us. So we'll be cut off from all sight of the airport. And that's where our road lies ahead. Such a beautiful afternoon out here. And now we're entering into a real wind vortex. Bear with me. Finally, the great wind vortex begins to slacken somewhat. And it picks up again. Above us, the mighty ridge. And the airport lies just across that ridge, but it's blocked from view. And inside of there is a nature preserve into which you cannot enter. nice houses up on top of that ridge. And now we're approaching the end of our journey. Another quarter mile or so and we'll be at the exit of the Golden Gate National Park. Sagebrush and heather are what the air is scented with here. Well, I guess that concludes today's video. I hope you enjoyed the hike. I hope I didn't talk too much. And, well, we'll see you again next time. And happy birthday, Kevin. Bye for now.